Hello everybody, it is DAMM time. Actually, it is DAMM intention time, or DAMM time, or something, I don't know. Anyway, it's time to draw a mandala, and I want to do an intention mandala today. Especially I like doing them on Mondays because I like to kind of think of this intention as like pushing me through the week. And so I kind of set one on Monday for the week, and then individually days I may have different ones or just reinforce the weekly one. Anyway, so let's get started, shall we? All right, let's see. Okay, so in an intention mandala, if you haven't done one with me before, the first thing that we need to do is think of an intention that we want to set for ourselves. So, something for the day, something for the week, something for the month, whatever you feel like. Just set that intention and really think about how that feels to you. Think about what type of intention that is. Like, is it really important? Is it more like a soft intention? Is it something that's just like temporary, that's just you need to set for yourself just to get through the rest of the day or something? And then try to imagine what that intention would be as a shape. So we're going to use this shape to start our mandala, and use it as a reference carrying us through the mandala to kind of keep reinforcing our intention. So thinking of that intention, thinking of how it feels and how that would translate into hello Meredith, into a shape so that we can start our our mandala. And if it doesn't make sense to you, or you just can't really think of a shape that it translates to, just draw something simple, a circle or square or flower shape or whatever to start the mandala. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully you've thought of that shape and you're ready to go. So we'll start with that shape in the middle, but then you can go ahead and follow me for the rest of mandala, or do everything on your own if you'd like. That's fine too. I am going to start. Hello Stacy. I'm going to just start with a circle because I'm feeling like I need to kind of contain everything. I have so much going on, and I really need to corral stuff in, and I know that it's kind of seems kind of literal, even a circle you're corralling it in, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, just think of how a shape is kind of represents the intention that you're setting. And again, we're using that just to start our mandala, and then to keep reminding ourselves and reinforcing that intention through the mandala. Okay? So I'm hoping you have your shape drawn, and let's get going. Let's see what I'm going to put around my circle. And go ahead and just, use the shapes that I'm doing and just adapt it around whatever shape you have in the center somehow. Let's go ahead and let's make just flower petals. And if you've done flower petals or flower as your shape, then just go ahead and do another set of petals right around them. And so remembering to watch our line work and have our set points, our start, our draw, and our stop points, so that we can just keep very mindful and intentional in our lines. Let's see. Let's do some kind of pointed petal shapes, or maybe like kind of leaf shapes going up from the flower petals. And you don't have to make these all exactly the same, or the same distance around or anything. Just kind of just draw them however they fill into the spaces there. All right. how about if let's take in, and in between each of these little leaf shapes, we're gonna draw one of my chubby triangles. So just from like somewhere, the upper portion of the petal, go ahead and just make your little triangle shape, and it's the chubby triangles because it's kind of triangle shape, but there's sort of bowed out or like convex kind of lines, and to me that just looks like a chubby triangle, so that's why I call it that. And okay, so let's just continue around, and you can make like a little guide point if you want, and just to kind of guide your hand there. You get that much easier sort of hand-eye coordination when you give yourself a little guideline, and just go up from there. And then also remembering to turn our paper to make our lines better and just to save our wrists. And we'll continue those around. Hello, Adele. And remembering to keep very, conscious of our line work. Remember our start, draw, stop. Start, draw, stop. You can also just, in these kind of shapes, you can do like a little pause, so you don't necessarily have to lift your pen. So it'd be like a start, draw, pause, draw, stop. And again, you don't have to say this out loud and move in slow motion or anything. It's just to keep those points in your mind as you're drawing, so that you are, keep very mindful of your line work. Let's see. Let me get a drink, and while I'm thinking about what to do next. Oh, let's actually bring our attention. This is our intention mandala. So let's bring our attention just back for a second into your center. See your shape. Remind yourself of that intention. You can just, it'll run through your head as you think about it. You can repeat it to yourself, directly, or you can just, have that kind of, just flash through your head as you glance back at your shape. And that's why we put the shape in the middle. That's just like a really strong reinforcer to just glance back, have that intention come back to us, and then move on. All right, so let's go ahead and let's put, let's just, do our lines in between. So just at the top of these petals, we're gonna draw a line that is just really just not quite a straight line. Cheers. Thanks, Meredith. Exactly. I do have a beer today. Sometimes I don't. Today I do. And okay, so just drawing that from the top of each shape to the next one, and it's really like just kind of a little curve, a little semicircle, not quite straight line, and just think about it going, just that one little section in between each petal, and that just keeps it really easy to do. In the end, yes, we are, drawing a circle around our shapes, but if we think about trying to draw a circle around our mandala, it seems very difficult. Like there's no way I can make a circle around that. But if we just think about it section by section, just one piece at a time, one little element at a time, put those all together and you have a nice circle behind your shape. And if it's a little wonky, that's okay. It still ends up being the same idea. And our eye is very forgiving and, tends to see a better circle than we actually drew. Let's see, let's put down, what shall we do? Let's I come at a standstill because I try to keep shapes that are, easy to do, but I also try to be mindful of those of you who have done, many of my mandalas, trying to think of new things and new combinations to put in. So sometimes I get a little stuck. When you're doing these on your own, you don't need to think that hard about it. Just whatever shape comes to your mind next, you can go ahead and put down. Let's see. Let's do like kind of a circle or a partial circle shape. So let's just start, you know, like in between the shapes on our line there, and just kind of make a little like bubble or a little line like that. Circle, line, it's not a line, it's a circle, it's a, I don't know what it is. It's a shape. Well, there, it looks like Mickey Mouse ears. So there you go. Let's draw some Mickey Mouse ears around our mandala. All right. And again, don't worry if these don't come out nicely. It's hard to draw these shapes well. They will tend to be a little lopsided or wonky or whatever, but we are not worried about that, because we are not trying to like make art that's going to hang in a gallery. We're making these mandalas for ourselves, or possibly to give to other people if you feel so inclined. That would be amazing. But yeah, so doesn't matter if it's a little wonky looking. We're all good with that. All right, let's see. What shall we do next? Let's put another sort of curved shape in between these two. So just, you know, somewhere in the, you know, like third of the way up in these shapes, just go ahead and put like a semicircle or like a curved line around there. And remembering to turn your paper, remembering to be very conscious of your lines and your pen on the paper. And then let's stop this and let's just glance at our shape in the middle, bring our focus back to our intention, make sure we're keeping conscious of that, and then move on. Let's see. Let's do what shall we do? Let's do like a thin kind of chubby triangle shape. So we're going to do just at where these two lines meet here. And we're going to draw maybe up to, you know, around there. And then just make our kind of, you know, little chubby triangle or our, you know, bowed out lines to make a little sort of leaf shaped petal there. And I know it's easy a lot of times to kind of draw along with me and do the same shapes that I'm doing, and that's perfectly fine, but at some point you can try to branch out on your own and do one without watching me, using your own shapes, especially after you've done quite a few of mine. You should have like a pretty good sort of vocabulary of shapes that you can use yourself. And honestly, again, even if you use the same two shapes over and over, that's fine too. Sometimes I like the way those look better, because I just really like that sort of repetitive, you know, shapes kind of going out into the mandala. I think it's very soothing. What shall we do? Let's take... we're going to start in, you know, these sections where these two join, and we're going to make a shorter little chubby triangle here. So just kind of going up this way. And you can make your little guide point or just eyeball it. However you want to do, that's fine. And let's see. And you can see, I mean, mine is nowhere near perfect. I mean, see how small this space is compared to this space. But you really don't notice those little things when you get finished with the mandala. All right, let's see. Oh gosh. All right, what can we do here let's go from like the top of these, not quite all the way at the top, just like quarter of the way down or fifth of the way down or something, and bring it up to the center. We're going to make one of my little sort of Hersheys Kisses shapes, or the squashed Hersheys Kiss, or the sort of fancy bracket shape that I like to do. And remember, these are very difficult shapes to get perfect. One side is going to be shorter than the other, flatter than the other, tighter than the other. It's going to be wonky. They're just almost impossible shapes to get both sides looking exactly the same. And it's funny, as you get out further into the mandala, this kind of differences in size and stuff you can really see. Like, you can really start to tell a much bigger difference between these two sizes. I mean, these should be the same, right? They're opposite side, but it just doesn't work out that way. We're doing it by eye. I don't have any guidelines behind, and that is okay. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at our little shape for our intention again. I keep, when I remind you is usually when I think about it myself. Oh, Morena. And I, think about it myself and bring myself back to the center, back to my intention, so I can kind of feel that, that just sort of centering around the intention that I set. So I think that's one thing why these intention mandalas are so good, because you have that reminder, and while you're creating this whole sort of mindful experience, and really having this time to be very in the moment, you're also keep focusing back on that intention, and just creates that reinforcement and that kind of repetition, and that sort of almost chanting kind of way of really having that intention set into our conscious. All right, let's see. Oh, time check. All right, getting close. Let's do some decorating work, shall we? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add a secondary line to around here. I feel like it needs that just like little extra, like almost a shadow or something going on around that outside. And that's okay. Remember, I always record these and save them, and they're on YouTube, so you can always go back and watch it, or watch any one you want. Okay, so I'm going to semi-try to replicate these lines. But I'm not going to try that hard, so I'm going to let it just go off and where it wants to. So I'm just kind of do the same shape, and I'm going to let it touch where it touches and go back where it is. Hey, Anna. Go back to the small triangles. Oh, you mean up on this or something? I guess that's what you're talking about. I'm trying to decipher quickly as I'm glancing quickly at the comments to understand what you're saying. Okay, so, and that's one thing, if you're doing your own, I mean, even if you're following me, you can add anything extra you want. You absolutely do not have to do exactly what I do. Stop when I stop, copy me exactly at all, whatever feels like right for you, to change it up or to add on is perfectly good. If you do that too, definitely share those with me. I'm always interested to see other people's interpretations of the mandalas. Hey, Diane. And okay, so see, I love, this is one of my favorite things to do, is add this like extra line. It just gives it a really nice organic quality. It almost acts as like a little bit of a shadow or something that goes behind, and adds a little bit of weight. And I really, really like doing that on a lot of, especially these more freestyle shapes. One thing maybe too is it actually, because they usually come out, very wonky and lopsided, I think adding the extra line kind of just evens that out a little bit and makes it even less visible, the sort of unevenness in the lines, and adds to that kind of character of the shapes. Thanks, Marina. Let's see, what shall we do? Let's go ahead and we'll emphasize our little flower shapes in here. So I'm going to just draw like one little line, like just a little fold line in the middle of these petals. And for those of you new, I'm using the same type of line technique. Thinking about my lines, I have a start and a draw, but instead of a stop point, I have a lift. So I'll do these outside and I'll show you what I mean. So we're starting our line and we draw, and instead of stopping, we lift. So that will just give you that really, I don't know if you can see, that really kind of tapered end to the line, which just makes it look very organic and more like wispy. And they're just nice lines when you're doing, like flower shapes and things like that. And let's see, I'll go ahead and add these in here. And also what it does a lot of times, because you're starting in the same spot, so you get that extra sort of darkness in the center there, which also gives it kind of a shadow look. So you get a lot more depth in there, which looks really pretty. It gives it a kind of like a 3D effect. Let's see, okay, in here I would put my leaf shapes. But I'm just going to do one of those so we can move on and do something different, because you've all seen my leaf shapes. Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to go. So, and using, again, just my lift technique. Oh wait, let's take a minute, look back at our intention, bring that back to us, think about that, and then we can move on. And so start, draw, lift, start, lift, start, lift. And just making that nice leaf shape. And then other things that we can do, we can, sort of make like double shapes in our circles, or even, continue and put more like concentric circles, and you can leave those as is. You can also fill them in every other one, which is also nice. So if you wanted to fill in, say, the center, and then filling in the line, every other line or space that you're going through. And just in filling in, we need to really remember to keep mindful of our lines. Filling gets a little tedious, and so we tend to wander and start to scribble and scrub. So just keeping mindful of that is important, and sometimes easy to forget. And I'm just going to make an extra line around this outside just to darken it up a little bit. Yeah? Okay, well, I have to go. I have my neighborhood sing-along that I have to get down to. And so just, fill in with anything your heart desires. Fill in the rest to decorate it, and just remember to keep drawing your attention back to your little shape in the middle for your intention. I'm going to just like draw an extra outline around mine just to highlight it there. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching or drawing along. This will be, you know, saved in my album called DAMM Videos and put to my YouTube, which my YouTube channel is debsordomeno.art. And please share this video and just, you know, try to get this out to as many people as possible to learn to create these meditation mandalas, or even just watching me. Meredith, you are very welcome. Martina, you are very welcome. Marina, I don't know why I said Martina. And anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks so much, everybody. Oh, Anna, you too. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. And yeah, everybody have an amazing rest of your day. And I will see you tomorrow morning. If you're around, I do my studio chat, so you can hop on for that if you want to. And otherwise, yep. All right, guys. Bye-bye.